Have you ever wondered how does it happen that in some cases for some products, for some big brands like Coca-Cola, like Gillette, you name the others, they can be along for more than 100 years, and statistics show that for most of the product, actually for 66% of the new products, they fail within the first 2 years. Well, every product, it doesn't matter for how long they've been around, go through the same stages. We call that the product life cycle. And in the product life cycle, one very important aspect that every marketeer should know is pricing. How to price accordingly to the price life cycle stage the product is in. And to give you an understanding about it, when you launch a product, you may have a certain price, right? Nobody knows about your product at that point. Well, you go on with $10. At the maturity stage, where the product is the most popular it has ever been and sells the most and has the biggest numbers, you may want to increase the price because you can turn out to have more profit, right? And it of course can go the other way around. In the growth stage of the life cycle of the product, it has to go and start selling more and more and more. Well, if that doesn't happen, you may want to be flexible enough to lower the price to start the sales, right? So the pricing is a dynamic process. In this video we talk about pricing. This is the review of Principles of Marketing chapter 11 about complex pricing strategies, and we will discuss about multiple pricing strategies for new products. So when a company launches a new product, it has to go through multiple stages, or it can choose from multiple strategies. We'll talk about to set a price. We will talk about how to set a price for the mixes of products when there are bundles, or you will find out there are multiple ways to make a mix of products, and we will also talk about how to make price adjustments, because in some cases there can be a geographical prices, right? The price that is in Asia may not be the same as in Europe or in the States. So this is everything we're gonna talk about it, and I'll tell you everything you need to know about this chapter of marketing. As you can imagine, when a company has a new product, pricing it, setting its price can be especially difficult. Most of the times companies are lacking data about consumers, about competitors' pricing, about competitors' products and their performance. They don't know if the consumers prefer their price to be based on the cost of production or on the value it provides, because that can be a huge difference. So at the beginning, it's quite hard to set a fair price or a good price that would help the company progress. Market skimming pricing strategy is the first pricing strategy of new products pricing strategies that we will talk about. Let's see some clear definitions of it. It is also known as price skimming. It is setting a high price for a new product to skim maximum revenues layer by layer from the segments willing to pay the high price. The company makes fewer but more profitable sales. Many companies that invent new products set high initial prices to collect revenues layer by layer from the market. As an example, many years ago, when Apple introduced the iPhone, the first iPhone, its initial price was $599. 6 months later, the price dropped to $399 for the 8 GB version and $499 for the 16 GB version to attract new buyers. Within a year, Apple dropped the price again to $199 and $299, and now you would also get wireless headphones for free. So what happened is that by using this strategy, by using market skimming, Apple did what was quite impossible before. It took money from all the economic layers. Let's call them people who could afford to pay $699 for a new phone. There are probably not that many, but there were few. So first of all, Apple priced the product as high as possible, and the ones that were available to buy it, bought it, right? And then it went lower and lower and lower. So in the end, everybody could afford it at $200, or well, mostly everybody. But the fact is that by using this pricing strategy, Apple managed to take more money, because imagine you can sell one phone at $600, or you have to sell 3 phones at $200. So they maximize their profits by taking money from all the layers. This is the base of the market skimming pricing strategy. There are many reasons why a company would like to use market skimming pricing strategies. Let's think about some examples. In the first scenario, let's say that Apple would have launched the iPhone for $300, right? That was the standard price. Well, let's say they would have made 1,000 sales, right? So there was a certain profit they could make, and probably after 3 months, everybody who wanted the phone and could afford it, well, they have already bought it. So after 3 months, the income for the company was getting lower and lower, but drastically. What happened by using this marketing pricing strategy is that first of all, Apple got a lot of money for the 600 and then for 400 and therefore 200. So they had income coming on and on and on for an entire year. And after that, they could probably launch another model. And as a company, you need to understand that the most important thing for them is cash flow. It's not necessarily profit. Of course, they want to be profitable, but you need to have money coming into the company so you have money to work with, right? So instead of stopping the cash flow after 3 months, Apple managed to get a regular cash flow, and probably having the phone at $200 generated more revenues by having way more sales than from the initial stage. So the company kept making money every month for an entire year, at least, with the same product. Of course, that there are certain conditions this pricing strategy works under. The first one is the product quality and image must support its higher price, and it must have enough buyers who want to buy the product at that price. The second one is that the cost of production or for a smaller value cannot be so high that they cancel the advantage of charging more. And finally, competitors should not be able to enter the market easily and undercut the price. The market penetration pricing strategy is the second pricing strategy when we look at all the options the company has to price a new product. Before everything you need to know, let's see some clear definitions about these concepts. Market penetration is setting a low price for a new product in order to attract a large number of buyers and a large market share. To penetrate the market quickly and deeply, companies set a low initial price. This decision also brings them a large number of buyers quickly and win a large market share. The high sales volume results in falling costs, allowing companies to cut their prices even further. In Kenya and Nigeria, we can see an example of a market penetration pricing strategy in action. Samsung unveiled an affordable yet fully functional Samsung Galaxy Pocket model that sold for $120. In India, Samsung sells pocket models for $77. By using this penetration pricing strategy, Samsung hopes to earn a lot of market share. In other words, market penetration works very well when you want to earn market share. As just the name says, market penetration, you penetrate, so you enter the market. You don't necessarily want to make a profit. Of course, profit is nice, but you need to prioritize your objectives. So by using this strategy, you get sales in both countries or where you want to launch with market penetration strategy. But the idea is that you get more market share. So people find out about your company, they found out about your phone model that you sell or whatever product, and you start being watched or being in the competitor's area for that product. Of course, that depending on the production cost and depending on the cost it sells for, a company can still make profit with its product. But there are also some conditions that this pricing strategy works under, and in the following minutes we'll talk about them. The first condition is the market must be highly price sensitive so that a low price produces more market growth. The second condition is that the production and distribution costs must decrease as sales volume increases. The third one is that the low price must help keep out competitors and the penetration price must maintain its low price position. This table shows us the 5 pricing strategies that can be used in product mix pricing situations. Most individual products are part of a broader product mix and must be priced accordingly. It is important to learn about the 5 strategies because when you use a product and you price a product for the product mix, it is important that the company makes profit with the entire mix. So you need to know all the pricing situations so you can change accordingly to the situation you need. In this video, we talk about product line pricing strategies. I will give you an example, I will give you all the definitions that you need to know to understand what a product mix is and how to use the product line pricing strategy. The product line pricing strategy is the first pricing strategy that we talk about when we discuss the product mix pricing strategies. Before going in depth about it, let's see some examples and let's see some definitions that you need to know. As this scheme shows, the product line pricing is one of the pricing situations or one pricing strategy that can be used for product mix pricing. The description of it is setting prices across an entire product line. Product line pricing is setting the price steps between various products in a product line based on cost differences between the products, customer evaluations, or different features and competitors' prices. The main reason why this pricing strategy works is that for most of the companies it is more profitable, or they prefer to produce an entire line of products than just producing one product individually. To better understand it, I will give you an example. Let's think about a car washing business, right? Let's think about how is it called? Mr. Clean Car Wash. There are 6 wash packages, ranging from exterior clean only, which is the bronze packet for $6, to exterior clean and shine and protect, which is the gold package for $12, and up to interior and exterior signature clean package for $27. So the idea is that this car wash business offers a lines of products. It can be interior cleaning, exterior cleaning, it can be shining, it can be protecting, it can be everything that it can offer. The idea is that they work as individual products, but they can also be grouped as a line, an entire line. This is easier as it is in services, because in products it is even easier to understand how it works. So what the car wash business does in our example is that it has multiple packages to justify the higher prices for the higher packages. So it can be an interior wash for $6 and an interior and exterior wash would be justified at $12, but having the features of shining, so probably using some cream and also the protection for the windshield and for the color, it is still in the $12, so it justifies paying more, buying the higher packages. In other words, the business wants you to pay more and buy the higher bundle of line of products, but it wants also to justify and to make a reasonable explanation in your head why you should get that. The optional product pricing strategy is the second pricing strategy we talk about when we discuss the product mix pricing strategies. Let's see some clear definitions to know what we work with. As this scheme shows, optional product pricing is one of the pricing situations or one pricing strategy that can be used for product mix pricing. The description of it is pricing optional or accessory products sold with the main product. The optional product pricing strategy means the pricing of optional accessories products along with the main product. So when we talk about optional products pricing strategy, we sell the product as a main price. We set the price for the product, but then we maximize our profits by selling multiple options or accessories for our main product at a higher price, of course. For example, a car buyer may choose a navigation system that is superior to the standard one. That is an extra option. There are multiple sound systems that come as optional products. Bose speakers, for example, JBL speakers, usually come as features, so optional features that a client has to pay for to get them, although the car comes with a standard speaker option system. One thing that a company needs to pay a lot of attention with optional pricing strategy is to know which features to put on the standard product and which features to add as optional expenses. And that is natural because you want to sell a product that is good enough to work by itself, but you also want the extra features to be as attractive as possible, so a customer might want to pay more for them. The captive product pricing strategy is the third pricing strategy we talk about when we discuss about product mix pricing. Let's see all the definitions and all the elements that you need to know about it. As this scheme shows, captive product pricing is one of the pricing situations or one of the pricing strategies that can be used for product mix pricing. The description of it is pricing products that must be used with the main product. Captive product pricing is setting a price for products that must be used along with the main product, such as blades for a razor and games for a video game console. Companies that make products that must be used alone with a main product are using captive product pricing. One good example to illustrate the captive product pricing strategy is the razor blades. You can buy the razor in the first place and you may like the quality of the product and keep using it. Well, the catch is that you will need to use the same blades always that come from the same company, as well as other ones that are not compatible with your device, they won't work. I'm sure that you can remember the Apple strategy for keeping customers captive. Can you remember that years ago when you had an iPhone? I believe that Apple still uses this strategy nowadays. The cable for charging your Apple phone, your iPhone, doesn't work on anything else. If you lost your cable, you cannot use an USB-C just like the other phones or other devices that we have nowadays. You have to buy their expensive cable, right? Another example is with coffee brewers machines. As you know, there are little pads that you can buy for your coffee machine, and the catch is that they only work with your machine, and the machine only works with its own coffee pads. Another example is the video consoles. Can you remember Xbox or can you remember PlayStation? You need to buy the games that are in the format for a PlayStation or for the Xbox. It won't work with anything else. So the main idea is that once you got the main product, it doesn't matter if it's a refrigerator, it doesn't matter if it's a game console, if it's a razor, whatever it is, if you have to keep buying the products from that company to use your main product, you are captive. There are several aspects that you need to know, that the company needs to know when it wants to use the captive product pricing strategy. The captive product pricing is also called the two-part pricing, and that is because the part one is the fixed fee or the cost plus the variable usage rate. If the price of the initial device is too high, customers may avoid buying the device in the first place or experience discomfort after using it after purchase. The byproduct pricing strategy is the fourth pricing strategy we talk about when we discuss the pricing strategies for mixed products. Let's see all the definitions and all the elements that you need to know. As this scheme shows, the byproduct pricing is one of the pricing situations or one pricing strategy that can be used for product mix pricing. The description of it is pricing low-value byproducts to get rid of or make money on them. The byproduct pricing is setting a price for the byproducts in order to make the main product's price more competitive. Byproducts are often generated by products and services production. If the byproducts have no value and if getting rid of them is too costly, this will affect the pricing of the main product. To better understand how it works, I will provide you with an example. Think about orange juice. A company that sells orange juice would have a lot of byproducts, and the most obvious one is the orange peels after the juice was squeezed. Since the company needs to get rid of them anyway, throwing them away in the trash might be a costly option, therefore they can be transformed into a by default product. The orange peels could be sold as compost materials to another company that produces bioplants fertilizer. So the idea behind this pricing strategy is to understand everything that goes into the production process. There is a lot of waste of water, there is a lot of waste of plastics, there is a lot of waste of materials. Think about the expensive bags, right, that are made from leather. You need to understand that they will cut the leather in a special shape to fit your suit, or your case, or your bag, or whatever you're buying, but there will be rests. And those rests can be sold to another company to produce their product, and in this way you don't have to pay for throwing them away, but you can also make extra profit on the rest. The product bundle pricing strategy is the fifth and the last product pricing strategy we talk about when we talk about product mix pricing. Let's see all the definitions and all the elements that you need to know about it. As this scheme shows, product bundle pricing is one of the pricing situations or one of the pricing strategies that can be used for product mix pricing. The description of it is pricing bundles or products sold together. The product bundle pricing is combining several products and offering the bundle at a reduced price. By using the bundle pricing strategy, Sellers often combine several products and offer the bundle at a reduced price. One good example of a bundle pricing is restaurants, specifically burgers. How many times did you really buy just the burgers, or just the fries, or just the juice? Or how many times did you actually get the burger menu, which comes with the fries, with the juice, with the sauce, and everything you need? You see, the idea behind this pricing strategy is by putting them in a bundle, the company manages to sell all the products. Because you couldn't buy, or you could buy, but you wouldn't buy just the burger or just the fries. You might buy the fries, but you wouldn't buy the juice. You might buy the juice, but you might not buy the sauce. So in this way, the company makes sure it sells more products, but they have to keep the idea of mixing them in such a way to get the best price that they can make a profit on, and they would still make more profit because they would sell more products, right? The key to the success of this pricing strategy is to understand that you need to have low production costs. Because if you have low production costs, you can sell the bundle at a low cost, or where at a decent cost where you can still make profit. This is everything you had to know about pricing, product mix pricing. This is everything you have to know about the product mix pricing strategies. Remember, there are 5 pricing strategies that you can use depending on the case or depending on the product you have. And also, if you want to learn more about pricing, well, find out that in this video I've talked about the major pricing strategies. In the links down in the description you will also find the video. And there are also pricing strategies for new products. So if you want to learn more about that, click on the link right here or check the links down in the description. In this video we talk about discounts and allowances. I will tell you everything that you need to know about them because they are price adjustment strategies, and I will also provide you with examples to understand them better. Discounts and allowances are the first price adjustment strategy we talk about. It means reducing prices to reward customer responses such as volume purchases, paying early, or promoting the product. Before going in depth about how this pricing adjustment situation works, let's see some clear definitions that you need to know. Discounts means a straight reduction in price on purchase during a stated period of time or of a larger quantity. Allowances mean promotional prices paid by manufacturers to retailers in return for an agreement to feature the manufacturer products in some way. Most companies adjust their basic pricing to encourage some behaviors that helps them, for example, paying the bills early or buying big quantities. Pricing and allowances are adjustment strategies that work independently, so let's begin with the types of discounts you may encounter. One form of discount is cash discount, which is a price reduction to buyers who pay their bills promptly. A quantity discount is a price reduction to buyers who buy large volumes. A functional discount is also called trade discount, and it is offered by sellers to trade channel members who perform certain functions such as selling, storing, and record keeping. A seasonal discount is a price reduction to buyers who buy merchandise or services out of season. In other words, discounts are a straight reduction of price. The customer pays less. It doesn't matter why and how and in which situation. You need to remember that the customer pays less. Let's now see some situations for allowances. Trade-in allowances are price reductions given for turning in an old item when buying a new one. They are most common in automobile industry but are also given for other durable goods. Promotional allowances are payments or price reductions that reward dealers for participating in advertising and sales support programs. Remember that allowances go in the same situation as price adjustment and reductions, but they reward the customer for trading something in or for having several benefits. It's not just a straight cash discount. Segmented pricing is the second option we talk about when we discuss about price adjustments. It means adjusting prices to allow for differences in customers, products, or locations. Before going in with the video in depth, let's see some clear definitions and some elements that you need to know. Segmented pricing is selling a product or service at 2 or more prices where the difference in prices is not based on differences in cost. Companies do this because they often have to adjust their basic prices to allow for differences in customers, products, and locations. So basically, in short words, yes, companies sell the same product in different locations at different prices. Let's take an example. You can buy a Coke or a bottle of water or a bottle of Sprite in, I don't know, let's say India for less than $1, and you can buy the same can in the States for $2. Although the cost of production are the same, that can differ if the production facility is in a different location, but the idea is that in order to maximize the profits, the company wants to sell in as many locations as possible. Segmented prices can take different shapes and forms, and in the following minutes we will discuss them. Customer segmented pricing has the different customer pay different prices for the same product or service. For example, museums or cinemas would charge lower prices for students and seniors. Product form pricing means having different versions of the product being priced differently, but not according to differences in their cost. For example, think about flight tickets. On the same flight, the economy price seat will be cheaper than the business class seat. Location-based pricing is when a company charges different prices for different locations, even though the cost of offering is the same. For example, state universities charge higher tuition for out-of-state students. And finally, using a time-based pricing, a firm varies its price by the season, the month, the day, and even the hour. For example, movie theaters charge lower pricing during daytime, and resorts give weekend and seasonal discounts. Of course, just like in other pricing strategies, in order to be able to apply the segmented pricing adjustment strategy, you need to go through some conditions. The market must be segmentable. The segments must show different degrees of demands. The cost of segmenting and reaching the market cannot exceed the extra revenue obtained from the price difference. The segmented price must be legal. Segment price should reflect real differences in customers' perceived value. And there is one important condition that you need to understand, is that when you charge higher prices, the money that the customer pays must be feel like the right value, because if not, the customers will stop buying. And also in the other scenario, if you sell the cheaper product, those citizens and those customers shouldn't feel like the second class. Psychological pricing and price adjustments is the third option we talk about when we discuss the pricing adjustments that a company can make. It means adjusting prices for psychological effects. Before going in depth with everything that you need to know, let's see some clear definitions of the elements that we work with. Psychological pricing is a pricing adjustment strategy that considers the psychology of prices and not simply the economics. The price is used to say something about the product. To many consumers, the price reflects the quality of the products. Consumers usually perceive higher priced products as having higher quality. This happens because when the consumers have to judge a product in order to make a decision whether to buy it or not, if they lack experience with it, they would also lack the information or skill to make an informed decision. Therefore, the price becomes an important quality signal. The truth is that in most of the cases, when a product is out of our budget, we consider that it is probably a higher quality rather than overpriced. Another aspect of psychological pricing is the reference price, which is the price that buyers carry in their minds and refer to when buying at a given product. The reference price might also be formed by past prices. So what this means, to give you an example, let's say that you are in Italy and you want to buy an espresso, and let's say you are from the States. Your reference price, for an example, let's say it's $3. In Italy you find it for $1.50. That is the difference in the psychology. You can also find it for €5. It doesn't matter. The price reference is that you can buy something without checking the menu, because you have an idea of how much it should cost. For most products, the customers don't have all the skill or all the information to assess whether they pay a good price. They don't have the time, ability, or inclination to research different brands or stores to compare prices and get the best deals. And also, we can look at some certain methods that are used in psychological pricing to make and form up the best prices. A 9 or 0.99 at the end of a price often signals a bargain. This is very much used in online sales, Best Buy or Target. In contrast, high-end retailers favor prices ending in a whole number, like $6, $35 or $200. Others used 00 cents ending on regularly priced items and 99-cent endings on discount merchandise. The digit 8 is round and even and creates a soothing effect, whereas 7 is angular and creates a jarring effect. Some psychologists even argue that each digit has a symbolic and visual quality that should be considered when pricing, and although the actual price difference might be small, the impact of such tactics might be big. Promotional pricing is the fourth pricing strategy that we talk about when we discuss the price adjustments options. It means temporarily reducing prices to spur short-run sales. Before going in depth with this strategy, let's see some clear definitions and the elements we work with. Promotional prices means temporarily pricing the products below list price and sometimes even below cost, to create buying excitement and urgency. The most important aspect about promotional pricing adjustments is the fact that it can take several forms, and in the following minutes we will discuss them. A seller may simply offer discounts from normal prices to increase sales and reduce inventories. Sellers may also use special event pricing in certain seasons to draw more customers. Limited time offers such as online flash sales can create buying urgency and make buyers feel lucky to have gotten the deal. Cash rebates are sometimes offered by manufacturers to consumers who buy the product from dealers within a specified time. The manufacturer sends the rebate directly to the customer. Other manufacturers offer low-interest financing, lower warranties, or free maintenance to reduce the consumer's price. These forms of promotional prices can help the customer go over some decision process in order to help them buy. One example of promotional pricing strategy used is T-Mobile encouraging its voice plan customers to break free from Wi-Fi only tablets and to add its 4G LTE mobile internet devices services. The company offered discounts up to $100 on tablets and a free gigabyte of internet. Such aggressive promotions can provide powerful buying incentives. By constantly offering promotions can backfire on the company because there are some situations that can devalue the brand image or devalue the image of the product, and we should be careful at some aspects. During the holiday season, it's a bargain war. If used too frequently, promotions can create a deal-prone customers who will always wait for discounts before buying the product. Also, by constantly reducing prices, the value of the brand can be eroded in the eyes of the customers. Most marketeers tend to use price promotions as a quick fix instead of developing a long-term strategy for brand building. Therefore, such problems must be solved through balancing short-term and long-term sales incentives and brand building. Geographical pricing is the fifth pricing strategy when we talk about the price adjustments a company can make. It means adjusting prices to account for the geographic location of customers. Before going on with the video and going in depth about this topic, let's see some clear definitions and some aspects that we work with. Geographical pricing is setting prices for customers locating in different parts of the country or world. The company must decide how to price its products for customers located in different parts of the world. As you can imagine, there are many questions that a company needs to answer to when they want to expand on geographically or globally, because the most important thing is the cost of shipping, as you can imagine. So there are several scenarios and there are several strategies that a company can adopt, and let's discuss them right now. The FOB origin pricing is a pricing strategy in which goods are placed free on board the carrier. The company will ask each customer to pay for the shipping cost from the factory to the customer location. The title and responsibility pass to the customer, who pays the freight from the factory to the destination. Uniform delivered pricing is a geographical pricing strategy in which the company charges the same price plus freight to all customers regardless of their location. It is the opposite of FOB pricing. The freight charge is set at the average freight cost. Zone pricing is a geographical pricing strategy in which the company sets up 2 or more zones. All customers within a zone pay the same total price. The more distant the zone, the higher the price. Zone pricing falls between FOB origin pricing and uniform delivered pricing. In this way, customers within a given price zone receive no price advantage from the company. Basing point pricing is a geographical pricing strategy in which the seller designs some city as basing point and charges all customers the freight cost from that city to the customer. If all sellers used the same basing point city, delivered prices would be the same for all customers and price competition would be eliminated. The last type of geographical pricing is freight absorption pricing, in which the seller absorbs all or part of the freight charges in order to get the desired business. The seller might reason that if it can get more business, its average cost will decrease and more than compensate for its extra freight cost. The freight absorption pricing is used for market penetration and to hold on to increasing competitive markets. Dynamic pricing is the sixth pricing strategy that we discuss about when we talk about price adjustments. It means adjusting prices continually to meet the characteristics and needs of individual customers and situations. Before going on and in depth with this one, let's see all the definitions and all the elements that we need to know. To understand dynamic prices, we need to understand first that prices used to be set and standard. So that was a standard convention either from the seller asking a certain price of the buyers, or either it was a negotiation between the seller and the buyer for the standard price. Well, the dynamic price comes as a new element. Dynamic pricing is very much used in industry of retailers, airlines, and up to hotels and sports teams who charge their price considering the demand and the competitor pricing. The price can be optimized on a daily, hourly, or even continuous basis. A good example of dynamic pricing practice nowadays is the way Uber works. Although dynamic pricing can help sellers to optimize sales and serve customer better, it can also damage customer relationship and trust. The way Uber app works is by analyzing traffic business and competitors, therefore understanding the demand of the customer. If you really need an Uber now, cause it's raining and the traffic is busy, you will pay more since the demand is higher. And as you can imagine, another good example of this practice can be found online. Most of the websites nowadays use your purchase history. Not just that, but your searches as well, even comparing how much you usually pay online to determine a price range that will be accessible to you. Just like Uber, flight websites usually track your online activity, and the more you visit sites looking for flights, the more expensive your tickets will become. Although these practices might not seem really legal, as long as they not discriminate for gender, for age, for race or something like that, they are perfectly legal. This is the end of the chapter 11 review for the principles of marketing pricing strategies. If you want to see more about reviews, check right here the video for pricing strategies for the major ones in chapter 10 of Principles of Marketing, or in the links down in the description find all videos from marketing and from Principles of Marketing. Before going on and checking for other videos, you need to check the links down in the description because I'm offering you a for free business marketing dictionary. There are more than 400 terms that I've explained for you, the most used and all the terms you need to know to have a marketing discussion, and you can download that for free. More than that, if you have your own company or if you're an entrepreneur, check the links down in the description below, because I've also created a manual to create your own business plan. And not just that, you can also create a communication strategy and a marketing strategy for your company. If you manage a company or if you own your very first one, you need to check that, because it is a by the book, step-by-step instruction how to build your business plan and everything you need to grow your products and to enter the maturity stage of the company. And of course that you can support me by buying me a coffee. In the links down below you will find a link for that, because I drink quite a lot of coffee to research the information for these videos, to film them, to edit them and to post them so you can watch them for free on YouTube. So a thank you in this form is highly appreciated. Of course that you can also thank me in the very classical ways by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, and also please comment in the comment section down below, because it helps me a lot with the YouTube algorithm. You know how it is nowadays. And on all my channel you will find more videos about marketing and corporate communication. I'll see you at the next one.